if you had a job where you come to work and people clap for you, it would change your entire mood.
Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump?
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the pace.
This is pathetic.
Where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap?
Life could be worse.
This is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss, my wife. Baby, my heart's on fire.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down.
I'm bag of pixie dust. Contraband.
They're going to do the Mary Poppins thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Magic mirror on the wall. The fairest one of all.
Oh, bitch, you killed Kenny.
Kenny.
You fat hoe.
I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
If you haven't subscribed to Lorena yet and you're watching this, you suck.
Well, you are here, so you definitely do not suck. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and you know, I always bring you that spice when it comes to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. Definitely keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. And speaking of keeping it real, this, of course, is the Spice Lounge, where we run down what's hot, what's popping, and what's just bat blank crazy in the world of pop culture to keep you guys all informed and, you know, just lay it all out there. Remember, you guys in the chat, you're my official co-host, so we love seeing that banter from you guys. So what are we talking about today? I guess they had a new racial draft, and now SNAPE is black in the HBO Harry Potter series. I don't remember SNAPE being black, but we're going to talk about that whole mess. And speaking of messes, definitely hot messes. Snow White, man, a live action thing just is a gift that keeps on giving. And the implosion is just going to be so delicious. And of course, we've got hot topics and 53 of you folks in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me bring in one of my friends onto the stage before I say welcome to the chat. We have Erica from Hanging with Erica and Rob. How are you doing, my dear?
Doing good. I was busy today.
I see. I'm like bunnies and new stuff. I love it.
I did Easter spring.
You know what? The weather here, well, you know how it is. It's like it doesn't really change that much. So I'm just like, I don't know it's Easter unless I go into Michael's or Hobby Lobby or someplace like that. And then everybody's buying all the stuff up. But it looks so cute. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you. Got my teapot and a little teacup. Raph got me the teapot. for Christmas this year to match the teacups my sister got me 2 years ago for Christmas when they came to visit.
Well, it looks absolutely, absolutely precious. Now, while mine is not while mine is not physically with me, it is being worked on, and I know people were asking, um, how come? Are you serious? I can't share. What the heck just ah?
Yeah, StreamYard's been acting up today. Jonas said that there's some changes going on and it's really screwing. So like screen sharing has been kind of a pain in the booty.
Oh my gosh! I think my screen froze. Crap! 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 Crap!
And we were having issues. Vash was having issues with it too on T3PO earlier.
Shoot.
It's just not letting you share anything at all.
No. Can you hold down the fort while I reboot? I will be right back.
I'll do my best.
That's okay. That's okay. You've got a wrench, so you can say hi to the folks in the chat. I will be right back. I promise. 5 minutes. I'll be back.
All right. You guys can see me and hear me, right? She's just frozen. This is weird. Hi, Linda, DJ Knight, Tina, and Snortapoopus. Sorry. Tom, what's up, dude? Dylan Soup, hi. Did you go to my what? No, actually, I've been here 11 years, Shogi, and I don't even know there are berry festivals out here. That's kind of interesting. They do have Easter markets, apparently, not very many of them. So maybe, well, I have to Google it, but maybe we'll see. Hey, Braylon, how you doing? Yeah, we've been having issues with StreamYard all day today on the streams. So hopefully a reboot will work.
Okay, I'm back. Look who decided.
Oh my goodness.
Don't knock my stuff over.
And he's like, nope. Camera's on. I'm out.
All of a sudden I hear this thump. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I've asked way too much of this little PC. It's had to pitch in for a little while because, and let me see if I can share this again. Better let me. Freaking StreamYard, I pay you guys too much. So my gaming PC is being rebuilt. Okay, I've got
So
someone
pretty.
working on it. So that's what it looks like with the RGB. I had to send my liquid cooler back to NZXT to get a new one, and it looks like my previous motherboard is crap. They should have given me another motherboard to just fix the CPU socket, so I have to send it back to Asus again. And I swear after this, I don't, unless I'm buying it directly from Asus or Newegg, I will never get another Asus motherboard ever. Tom's like, yay. Yeah, so I got my Landley fans graphics card, the CPU, thankfully, there's nothing wrong with that because I bought that CPU. You can't even get it anymore. I think it's like a Ryzen 7 7800 3DX. It's got like integrated graphics, and that CPU went up like $200 since I bought it. So it's like, heck no. So that's what I should have done. I should have bench tested that sucker first. So I've got a different motherboard on here. And yeah, so it is
I love how it's
coming.
like a clear casing and it's huge. Oh my, I didn't realize how big it was. And then when the lights are on, I'm like,
Oh, and even better, that like panel, this panel here in the middle,
"Mm,
that's where a 4K screen goes.
what?
Yes. Yes. It'll be like a 4K screen. So when I buy it, literally, I will have the show on the 4K display, so you'll be able to see it in back of me. But
Holy cow.
yeah,
Nice.
but I bought the case first because I was like, dang it, I want the case. I can't afford the 4K thing. I just want the case. So they sold it without without the panel. So hopefully I should have it in my hot little hands by next week. And my mini PC here, who's been an absolute champ, can finally get a break because it's a miracle it's hung on as long as it has. Because I've been asking it to do a lot, whole lot. Let's see, who sent me a picture?
Mhm.
Oh,
A picture?
Ron, if you sent me a picture, it didn't go through. So because I saw it
Like,
in the chat what it was about. That's why I'm like, I don't see the picture. No worries. I'll give you time to find it. I know you're not feeling so hot. Ron's not going to be able to join us. And why did StreamYard get rid of my
mm.
background again? I'm sorry. I
Oh, it's
work in
black. I just
IT,
saw that.
and every time something pops off in StreamYard, I'm just like, you don't want me talking to y'all. It's ridiculous. But anyway, what's not ridiculous? 88 of you folks in here. We have got DJ Knight in here. We have got Snorter Poopus in here, one of my amazing mods. We've got Braylon Lee in here as well. Good to see you. We've got Chef Nation right there with Little Chef in the picture. Says, good evening,
Give him a
beautiful
kiss for me. He's so
people.
cute.
That dog is so cute.
Little
Little
chef.
Chef is so cute. Chef, did you ever get the Doom Buggy dog bread? Because I think
What?
I've owned yes. I think it was last year they sold it and you could get it on Disney Store. It's a doggy bed. And yes, it looked like a Doom Buggy.
Oh, the Doom buggies. Okay, I've seen those. I thought you said dunes.
Oh, no.
I was like, what? So yeah, I was gonna get Sophie one, but that didn't happen.
It was so cute.
Obvious reason.
So cute. So I hope she got that. Hello, Christian Sanchez. Snow White. Not a Snow White calendar, but definitely Snow White live action. Oh my gosh, the implosion on this sucker is just juicier than anything we could have hoped for. Let me just tell you, we're going to be talking about that a little later on. We have got Go and Shogi. He says, howdy, hello, and good to see you, my dear. Always answering my cooking questions along with Chef Nation. I'm like, what's vichyssoise? What sauce is? I know I've heard of it, but I don't know exactly what it is. And let's see, we've got BR Geist here. Says, hey, Lorena and everyone, ready for the spice? Well, we have got plenty. Erica's waving everybody there. She's here on the panel. Tina Beebe says, evening all. I had to tear myself away from the Harry and Meghan disaster news.
Oh, I
Either
haven't
them or
even seen
Ziegler.
that. Oh,
Wait, what was up with Harry and Meghan? Did they
I
get
don't
kicked out of
know.
California?
I mean
Because
that I
I
watched
don't.
a few episodes of her show, and I mean, yeah, that's. Do I have a lot to say?
My freaking distant cousin Megan.
It
Let me
gave me
tell
an idea
you.
for some videos though, just to mock
Ooh,
her.
that's always good. That's always good. Harry and Meghan disaster news. Are they moving to Canada? Or did the British family, I mean the royal family, have to remind them, no, you ain't coming back here? I'm just like, how are you gonna act like that with the royal family? Anyway, that's a long, long story. Hey, Ron, to stop and say hi while I'm in the midst of a few yuck issues, current hiccups added on to allergies, watering eyes, and a splitting headache. I am so sorry, my dear. I barely made it through my stream last night at Epcot because of the
Mm.
Flower and Garden show, and there was because you could kind of hear it in my voice near the end. It was like so scratchy. I had to come home and get hot tea and put like Vicks vapor rub under my nose. I know you're not supposed to put it there, but I can actually breathe when I do.
Oh.
So,
Well, my grandma used to put it in my nose. Mhm. She'd
mm-hmm,
stick her
right up there.
finger
Yep.
and right here, she'd go up the nostrils. Ugh.
It's like you hated it, but man, you could breathe. And my grandmother would have the
Yeah.
1-2 punch, turpentine and Vicks vapor rub.
Did your grandma so my grandma had the cotton you could roll out, and she would put it over the lamp next to the bedside heat. Oh,
I don't think she did. I don't think she did that.
You went
I
sorry,
don't
my
think she did
screen went
that.
black for a second.
Oh, no worries.
A shoe and a brown paper bag, don't ask why. She would cut a brown paper bag, put cotton on it, heat it with the lamp next to the bed, and then she put Vicks on my chest, and she'd put the cotton with the paper bag and yeah, it was a whole thing. Welcome to having a Cuban grandmother.
I didn't do the bag, but we had the Vicks vapor rub and then the turpentine on too, and then the homemade concoction of olive oil, lemon juice, and honey. It does not taste as good as it sounds. It's absolutely like
Yeah, olive oil.
disgusting.
I mean, I like lemon and honey, but olive oil in that?
Lemon,
Ooh.
olive oil, and lemon, olive oil, and honey, because pneumonia used to kill people back in the day. So that was her concoction, and I can't really knock it because I actually did feel better after I like drank it, but it was God, it was
Getting that down,
really,
yeah.
it was gross. Kermit Frog, hello, says Lorena Creole. If they have to do a Black Harry Potter, then they should have Morgan Freeman as Dumbledore and Samuel Jackson as Mad Eye. What do you think,
Oh
Lorena Creole?
gosh.
I
Oh,
think that is such a fever dream and would make a great skit on In Living Color if that show is no, actually Key and Peele, actually, because they did a show. It was based on like, inner city schools in crisis, and they had the Vince Clortho School of Magic and Wizardry, and they were like, yeah, we're not as well known as Hogwarts, but we try. It's the funniest freaking script. You see the clip of it in the intro where it says a dime bag of pixie dust contraband. Yeah, it is the funniest freaking.
You're gonna have to send me a clip of that. Send me a
Yeah,
link.
I'll have to send you the link. That's also funny, along with the there can be only one magic Negro. That's another one. Hilarious. Who else we got in here? Release Zegler. Let's see. Live action Snow White has done better multiple times with Once Upon a Time, Snow White and the Huntsman, and yes, and Magic Mirror. Disney is doing absolutely nothing new. And they're doing it half-assed.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And if they wanted to do something new, they could have just stuck to the original story instead of another by storyline of Snow White. It's like, come on, no
Mhm.
one's actually made a live action Snow White that's based off of your real Walt's original work. It's all been like some other retelling of a Snow White story, you know,
Mhm.
and they're doing it again. I'm like, y'all are freaking retarded.
It's like how beautiful if you would have, like, say, brought Grimm's fairy tales to life, make it a period piece with all the costuming, everything.
That would
Would
be
have been
cool.
cool. And 7 little people as the 7 dwarfs. My goodness. Ugh,
Exactly.
freaking Peter Dinklage is Professor X and again.
I'm surprised
Ah,
all the little people didn't sue Peter because he essentially robbed them out of work.
mhm.
Didn't they like sue him for that since it actually did cause damage? Just saying. I'm not a
That
lawyer, but I'm just saying it
no,
sounds like
that
they kind of have something to work with there.
that may be a little hard to prove, but I think Peter Dinklage is now kind of persona non grata, um,
Mm,
in a way, because that is such a niche acting
yeah.
industry that is like, dude, you just took jobs and we could have had them. Let's see who else we got. We see Marco Brashear says, "Yep, can see ya." Oh, was that before? That was before I'd reboot.
Oh yeah, because I wasn't sure like when you left if that was gonna reboot the stream, like completely,
Oh, no, 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 no,
kick
no,
both
because
of us out.
no,
And
because
then
we're
I was
in
there and I'm like, can they see me or am I like backstage and no one can see me? So I got a little
no, it's
out of
okay.
line moment. Sorry.
StreamYard is up in the cloud, so unless I hit end stream, it's still gonna go. So I'll disappear if like my computer goes down, but I got the kill switch on the mobile as,
Oh,
as
gotcha.
well. So yeah, we are good. We are good. Get well soon, my dear. Those like allergies, I can't. Literally, I have to take what is that stuff? Not to knock you out, Benadryl. But I have to take Allegra during the day because I'm getting like hives from allergies. Let's see. Yes, it is. Silly, silly, silly. Silly, silly, silly. Hey, Jan Monroe, how you doing? How you doing? And Chef Nation says Yoshi. Yes, yes. Yoshi usually has my new ears on, but he's got his Mardi Gras hat on
Oh, cute.
today. So yeah, so thank you because Chef Nation hooked me up with the super chat to get the Yoshi hat, and you'll be happy to know when my nieces and nephews were here, they snatched up the Yoshi and the blue shell. They my gosh, they absolutely loved it. Bob Iger is at Disney Springs right now. Really?
I'm glad
Did
I'm not there. I'd tell him to pull his head out of his ass and actually make a good decision for once.
did he let's see, did he take 2 showers before he
He's gonna need
before
one
he
if it's hot
showed up?
outside and muggy.
Let's see. I see the pictures. Hold on one second. I have to move him over to the I have to move him over to
Oh,
the
okay. I
other
see
the
him.
other monitor. So here we go.
That guy
Did he
looks like
get
he works for the CIA, the look on his face.
Oh yeah, that's Bob's personal security, so to speak. They hang out. You always see like who they are. Like, don't talk to Bob Iger.
Since
Ah,
even men his age wear skinny jeans, isn't he too old for that?
yes, he's too old for that. As is Josh
It
Tomorrow,
looks
but
weird.
you can't tell him nothing. It's a LA thing.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay. They still
hmm
wear that out here, the Germans. But on the American side, it's more like the flare jeans and the wide legs have come back in from like the 90s.
hmm I like my bootcut jeans, that's for sure. So
Yeah,
he's
I got a pair. They're
who
fun.
Iger's talking to. Well, I guess he came to survey the destruction. He's about to.
I'll tell you who he's not talking to. None of us.
No, they can care. You can care less about us little people. Marvel rivals, here we come. Yes, yes, indeed. I cannot wait. I think I might play as a Punisher actually. Either him or Squirrel Girl. I haven't decided yet. I'm sure Henry Cavill could rebuild it for you. At least he'd be something good to look at while repairs go forward. I wish. Would love. Oh well, I'll take both of them. I'm cool with that. Hey CJ, how you doing? Said I thought she said dog bread. No. No. Ginger Ninja is here. Dylan Soup is here. BR Geist is here. Yeah, we're gonna talk about all of that because your girl, you guys know I'm a Harry Potter fan, so I got issues. No, I got problems with it. Dylan says that thumbnail is diabolical. Why is this actor dressed like Andre 3000 from the Hey Ya music video? LOL.
Wow.
That's CJ's fault. It looks great. I love it. Hey, Amanda. Good to see you. Good to see you here. And also good to see Kiss My Grits as I just poured some Tabasco in my grits for the show. So let's get
What?
spicy. Tabasco.
I do love grits, but I love a ton of butter and a lot of pepper.
I don't like grits. You can put
You don't
so much
like
butter
grits?
in it. No. Here's the only way that I will eat grits. The only way that I will eat grits is if they're made with butter, cream, bacon, cheese, and it's got some shrimp in it.
Well, you like that shrimp and grits?
Shrimp and grits. I love shrimp and grits.
No.
I can't stand plain grits, but I love myself some shrimp and grits. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. Especially sometimes you can get the shrimp and grits that are made with mascarpone cheese. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so delicious. It's so delicious. Oh my God, that Megan show is my acolyte. I can't. Yeah, I may watch this to laugh at it. I'm like, honey, you know you can't cook worth a damn.
Oh, and I found out where I forgot to tell Shogi. I found out where she got that recipe from, that pasta dish that was like repulsing.
Yeah.
Apparently it's an old Martha Stewart recipe from like years ago from the Martha Stewart show, but she made it, of course, differently. And Megan apparently just, I like kind of butchered it. Not
Dang
butchered
it.
it, but just made it the
Mhm.
technique she chose to make it does not the flavors are not gonna layer right. It's like, ugh, it's gross.
My grandmother used to put Vicks up my nose too. Buckley's cough syrup is all you need. I've never heard of that.
I hate
I've
cough
never
syrups.
known
They
that.
all taste nasty. I have yet to find one that I can actually swallow without gagging or bringing it back up.
Does it
But I
taste like
do like I'll take pills, like the Robitussin pills, like the ones but
Mhm.
not a syrup. No.
I don't think I could do that. The onion, sugar, lemon from my mom.
Onion, sugar, what? Onion? I have never heard of that combination.
Never.
Holy
I
cow.
haven't. The lemon and the sweetener, I do understand that because my grandma did that, but onion, no, I don't really.
Onion? I
know.
can't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Goof R35. We were just talking about that. They did inner city Hogwarts. That sucker is absolutely hilarious. Still my favorite Key and Peele skit. I've broken the real.
Oh, I've never had Casper. So I'm reading CJ's.
Oh my gosh, we should actually watch that and do a reaction to it. It's so darn funny. Yep, it's like new coat, nothing wrong, didn't need to be modernized.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There you are, Comics Dad. Good to see you. Good to see you. I just took a Benny. Yeah, you're going to be out in about 15 minutes, which is great because
Oh,
then you can breathe. That Benadryl, I'm telling you, I take that and I'm like 20 minutes, I'm going to be out. And I will not wake up even if a nuclear bomb goes off outside Bob's boyfriend.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna make some tea real quick. Sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries, no worries. Eating grits is like eating soft sand. Yuck. Hey, security dep. No, I have never tried them with sugar. I can't. I can't. Grits. I don't like how they taste. It's the same with polenta, which is basically Italian grits. Mm-mm. I put sugar in it. I put butter in it, salt and pepper in it. Mm-mm. There's just something about grits with cream and cheese and bacon, because everything is better with bacon. Buckley's tastes worse than anything you've ever had. It's ew. My grandma used to give me castor oil, so if it's worse than castor oil, man, that's got to be bad. That's got to be bad. All right, folks. Well, let's go through. Let's see, one hot topic, because I want to get to Snow White and also two Black Snape. Coming to us from Movie Web, Daredevil Born Again already broke a streaming record on Disney Plus, but is it good enough? Well, let's see. Daredevil Born Again has come out the gate swinging, landing the best debut on Disney Plus of the year. Keep that in mind, of the year. We're only in 3 months into the year. A continuation of the Daredevil series that aired from 2015 to 2018 on Netflix, which is amazing. Born Again was one of the most anticipated MCU Disney Plus series in some time. Despite claims from Marvel fatigue or that the MCU has not been good since Avengers Endgame, there is no denying that most audiences were excited to see Daredevil rejoin the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and even the most skeptical fan might have been curious to check out Born Again. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I watched the Netflix series, I binged the Netflix series. Then I started watching Daredevil Born Again. And in 10 minutes, I turned it off. And do you want to know
It
why?
wasn't just me.
What?
It wasn't just me. I'll tell. Yeah, I got halfway through the first episode tonight. So
I
you
turned.
tell first. You go. You go first.
This is why, and Chef Nation brought up exactly why. I wouldn't say it stuck the landing by killing Foggy right off the bat and making Karen leave all within 20 minutes of screen time. This was my biggest problem. Because with the Netflix series, it's like they were a team all together. You had Charlie Cox, you had Foggy and Karen, all of them together. And what you do in this new series, literally, I want to say maybe 10 minutes in or so, Foggy takes a sniper bullet to the heart, and you've got Karen trying to save him, and she's got blood all over her hands, and she's just like, stay with me, stay with me. Eventually, Charlie Cox throws some dude over, the building and lands splat in the street, and it's just mayhem. And I'm just like, what the heck why did y'all do this in the show? It did not sit well with me that's what you do. And it's one thing if they would have saw him get shot and you didn't know what happened until later on, but it was It was unnecessarily bloody, and unnecessarily violent. And it shouldn't have been that quickly. And that's a problem that I had with it. Eventually I went back and watched both episodes, but I had to turn it off. Because I'm like, I can't believe y'all freaking went and did this. Just did not make sense. Comic Dad said in the comics, Foggy does indeed die, but we need to find out the reason why they did it in the show. If it's a bunch of nonsense, then more of the same failing BS. Yet this wasn't like some dude on the street that took a bullet. It was Foggy. So, granted, we're doing MCU here for folks who have not read the comics, because I have not. But if I'm going with there's too many Marvel characters. I can't keep track of I know of them, but I don't know all their storylines. If you're just watching Daredevil on Netflix and then you get dropped into this show, yeah, you're gonna have some problems. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Erica.
Well, so like a moron, I didn't watch the original series. I'm kind of going backwards here. I was like, well, let me just watch this and see what my retarded brain can absorb or not absorb, having no context. So, yeah. Um, just normie here, what I saw, and you have to bear with me because I am not into a lot of superhero stuff, but in my little childlike brain, very simple minded, says, aren't superheroes supposed to be superheroes? Aren't they supposed to, protect their friends, conquer the world, and do it well, and I mean well, where there's hardly a scratch on them. That's why they're superheroes. And what I didn't and again, you guys understand my ignorance. There is ignorance here. So my thing was, okay, so you got these 3 friends or 4. One of them dies very quickly, and I have no context, so I had no clue of what you were just saying. So now that just makes it worse, um, knowing what you just said. And I don't know, I found it kind of just odd, that it just felt so defeating. I'm like, "You're the superhero, like, what happened here?" I expected some excitement of here comes the superhero swooping in and he saves that moment, and then the
Mhm.
storyline. But that's in my head is how I think a superhero story should go. Now, I am not a writer, I'm not a professional anything. So you have to like understand my simple mindedness here. But
No.
yeah, I kind of got lost in it uh and then the stupid computer rebooted itself, and I didn't even get to finish the rest of it, so I got, like, halfway through, um, and yeah, so I already kinda got, bored in a way,
Mhm.
and then just not understanding why it was written with the superhero, like, why is it written in that context? I mean, is it just me, or is it, like, many years ago when superhero stuff was on TV, it was like, they saved the freaking day, they saved their friends' lives, they prevented he got there first and woulda killed the shooter and his friend woulda lived, like, that's in my brain thought what was gonna happen, and when that didn't happen, he's just sitting on the roof crying all defeated, and I'm like, "You're the freaking superhero, what happened?" And I was just kinda,
Mhm.
"What?" But there again, I don't read comics, I don't really keep up with Marvel, there's a lot of ignorance here. I'm not a screenwriter either, so as far as, like, character development and all that is, I'm just a normie people. So that's just
Well,
coming from a normie.
you are not wrong. That's the normie part that normies would know. It's just like that's what superheroes are. And in the original Daredevil series, you know, why did I say Charlie Cox? Well, that's the actor. Matt Murdock, he is basically a vigilante. and he winds up saving these people. Eventually you'll see like what happens, but that's what he does. And he has like this conflict within himself. It's like with him being a Catholic, but at the same time believing in forgiveness, but at the same time there needs to be retribution. So you saw that repeatedly with Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, like saving people in trouble. And there was nothing heroic about this first episode of Born Again. So
Yeah.
you are absolutely right. That part was totally missing. It's not like he had saved his friend or something like that. But it was just
The
it
villain.
was
I don't understand how the villain, like, he was pretty beaten up, and then he falls from that building and he lives? I'm like, "Well, what kind of superpower does he have?" He's like a phoenix. He didn't die.
no,
I'm like, who doesn't die on impact like that?
especially
But
from
your
that
friend
high
died.
up.
I don't know. I'm just that was another thing I was miffed at was, well, shouldn't he be dead? But he just, like, woke up,
Mhm. Yeah.
like it was nothing, but I was like, "Well, maybe he's like a supervillain. He's got his own special faculties, and I don't know because I don't know I don't have any canon to go off of, so
Mm,
my brain was like, "Well, maybe he's a supervillain and he maybe his, superpowers is, he can I don't know, he just doesn't die."
we
He's, like,
have the
perpetually
queen.
resurrected.
Yeah, I was just like, that isn't right. And this is another thing that irritates me. We have the queen pin now, running things for Kingpin until he came back. And I never really saw Vanessa as doing, as doing that. But that kind of irritated me as well. And yes, they should
I
be
don't know what
heroes,
the
not
kingpin.
morally ambivalent. Yeah, normies know what a superhero
Oh,
movie
yeah,
is.
that makes sense.
And
I'm
if
gonna
you
grab my
don't,
tea, it's done.
oh, no worries. Because even if you're a normie watching this, it's just like, where's the superhero part at? I want to know where that happens. Tom F says, I want to see where they take it without his crutches being there. Interesting. Yep. And CJ says, you were right to get bored. Allegedly, the first 5 episodes were from the previous version of the show, but they removed all the comedy from it. Yes, it was supposed to be a
Oh.
comedy initially.
Oh, interesting. That's huh. So another
Man.
thing I didn't know, he is blind,
Yes.
but I but I was told he's got, like, this bat, and then my next question was with sorry, it's gonna sound kinda funny. Did he get bit by a bat? Like Spider-Man got bit by a spider?
No, some chemical.
How did he get the bat
How do you do it?
superpowers?
Well, not really bat superpowers.
I didn't
How
know
best
what
to
to call it.
explain it is when he, oh, because in a way, yes and no. When he was a kid, he pushed some guy out of the way of a car. He got hit by a car, but I think the car hit like this toxic waste or chemical waste, and it got in his eyes, and it made him like
Oh, okay.
blind. But let's put it this way: he's blind in that his optical, it's like his irises don't contract or anything like that, and he can't see, but he has this power where he can still see, but he's blind. It's like the other senses kick in, like it give him heightened senses. He can tell basically what someone ate for breakfast, that someone is gonna die. Um, his skills have been so honed that
Yeah,
he knows
crazy
martial
heightened.
arts, but he's blind. But yes, he can actually kick your ass. You can tell when people are coming. It's crazy how they did that. But they explained that in the first in the Daredevil, the first show. So I don't like
Yeah,
how
and I
they
didn't
really
watch the
didn't
first show.
explain it
I
in the first episode.
I see, and that's why I started with the new show because I figured, well, maybe they'll do like a recap, because, a younger audience maybe hasn't seen the original show if the
Thank
original
you.
show is
Yes.
so old. and maybe they would do some kind of, like, recap, of, give it a little bit of a historical context, and that's why I was like, "Well, I'm sure they would do something like that," and nothing. So I realized, "Oh, this is for people that actually know, uh, the story," and as someone who's never, um, you know
Mhm.
I don't know anything about the story. Yeah, I was kinda lost. Now I will say on a positive note, and I'm not there again, I'm not a critic of, what's I thought the cinematography, like, the filming of it was good. Um, yeah, I think, I thought it looked nice. It was just the story,
Mhm.
what bit is it just didn't really keep my attention. I mean, I'll keep watching it just to see what happens, but, um,
Yeah,
I like
I
Perfect King. That's a good show.
well, I agree with you on that point. The shots look good. It's just the story, it just ticked me off that that's how it started, and then there seems to be a lot of standing around and music video stuff going on. I don't think that there should have been the sit down between Matt Murdock and, Kingpin this early in the series, but, it seems like there's gonna be 5 episodes of the previous crap that they had, and probably a pull a Mandalorian and, like, try to stick the last 3 and think it'll make up for the previous 5, but we'll have to see what happens. But what I will say, and I have to thank Jonas for putting this up here, Loki season 2 finale attracted 11.2 million global viewers over its first 3 days, according to Disney. That's 11.2 million. And Daredevil only had 7.5 million.
I saw that. I was like, "Ooh, that's pretty low."
So, yeah, it's really low. Yes, there's no passion anymore. So that's why they're like, "Oh, it's the best, debut on Disney Plus." It's like it's only been 3 months. It's only been, 3 months into the year, and it's interesting how they massage these numbers. Now you know why they dropped 2 episodes at the same time. 1 and 2. They're gonna do the others, week by week, but I I'm invested in seeing how if this ends in a train wreck or an epic save, mainly because I did like the Netflix series. It was great. It was gritty. It was real. Because that's one of the things about Marvel superheroes is yes, they have superpowers, but at the crux is a very, very human story where Matt Murdock, he has like this guilt about, his father not throwing a fight because he wanted to hear his son, he wanted his son to hear people cheering for him. And, then the mob winds up, killing his dad. So that human story is like missing in these first 2 episodes of Daredevil, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's the Andor of the MCU. Yeah, could not have put it better. Well, speaking of that, we'll go to some other bad news. Captain America Brave New World added 8.5 million in its 4th frame, I guess 4th week, should have said that. It will end the weekend with 177 million domestically and 370.8 million worldwide. A solid tally, except that it costs more than 180 million to produce and roughly 100 million to promote. And if you've been following some of us on YouTube, like over at That Park Place, Valiant Renegade, you know that number is not accurate, considering how many reshoots that they had to do because the film didn't test well. Definitely more than that on promotion, considering all of the stuff and the tie-ins that they had for this movie.
M
Yeah.
maybe maybe based on one shoot. Yeah, 180 million. but the multiple reshoots weren't they? Wasn't Valiant in them? Saying it was like up in the upper 400s, 500
Yes.
million.
Yes.
That's more of an accurate number.
Yeah. So if that's up, 400 million, the marketing, you probably want to add another 1.5, I'm guessing, another 100 million on top of that, because advertising for this movie was everywhere, tie-ins everywhere, between merchandise, even, in laundry detergent commercials. I don't think we're gonna know for sure until I think part of this was filmed in the state of Georgia with tax credits. So we're gonna have to do some forensic accounting. I'm pretty sure Valiant will do that, where the true amount will come out, because it was definitely not 180 million. I don't care what y'all try to tell us. That is definitely not it. Did Disney even advertise the return of this show? Back when it was canceled, there was a huge fan base for the show and Charlie Cox. Disney anticipated they didn't need to do PR for it, and here it is. I didn't see a huge push. Did you? For advertising Daredevil Born Again? I didn't. They just kind of like put it
No.
out there. Hey, Linda, I'm going to make sure I say hi to you. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, CJ. At least 500 million. It is not this 180 million to produce. No. And if you've seen the film, you know exactly where a lot of those reshoots had to happen, including bringing in Sebastian Stan. So that was very obvious. Snow White is right behind him. Yep. We're going to talk about that, actually. So bad news, more consistently bad news when it comes to Disney. So I may not get claimed for this, but I don't care. I will fall on this particular grenade, because this is the first clip from the live action Snow White movie. Let's take a look at this, shall we?
Please. You were saying.
It's just, Your Majesty, people are struggling, and it may not be much, but when I was young, my parents and I would pick apples. We'd take them and make pies, then go out into the village.
Okay, hold on. First of all, Gal Gadot is amazing. She's amazing. Love her as the evil queen. One, Snow White's parents are supposed to be dead, if I remember correctly. At least her mom was dead. Was her father dead? I don't think he was. Was he? Wait, no, because Queen was her stepmother.
I don't know why I always, as a child, even when I watched the original Snow White, I just assumed that her dad was alive, that her mom died and he remarried, and that was her stepmom. Even though it never showed him, but that's just kind of where my brain went, I guess, because of Cinderella.
They were all
Maybe
dead.
that's
Both. I gotta, you know what? Before I watch that god awful live action movie, I have a copy of Grimm's Fairy Tales, leather bound. I'm gonna have to read that, because Aldo is saying they were all dead, both. But yeah, I'm like, the parents are dead. We'll just say it's like the parents are dead. She was never, quote unquote, out there among the people. And she's talking about apple pies. Snow White did not make an apple pie. Do you know what kind of
big
pie she
gooseberry
made?
pie.
Thank you. Y'all effing up with your own lore. Oh my God. There's like needles shooting out of my eyes with this.
Pies are luxuries. They don't.
Pie? I haven't. Have you ever had gooseberry pie?
No, I never
Neither have
have.
I'm a little curious.
I wonder what it tastes like. Does it taste like?
I know.
I like all berries anyway. So I'm just curious. I've never had a gooseberry. Y'all have to tell me what it is. Yeah, they already fumbled with the Apple setup. Yep, they did. This is already bad.
I
Blind
can't
conservative.
stand the sound of her voice. It doesn't even sound like Snow White.
I can't either. It's so
The second she opens her mouth, I'm
pretentious.
like, oh.
It's
Mm-hmm.
she's not, like in the in the animated show, she's very, she's very proper. She's very, humble when when she talks to people. She's not talking as if, well, I know more than you. Do you know who my father is? That's pretty much her attitude right now. Yeah, she doesn't have that one. And yes, she's talking like a rich daddy's girl. Exactly. Exactly. I hate that.
Need
You don't feel
luxuries.
anything for her.
It confuses them.
But sometimes something small, something sweet even can make you believe that there's more to being alive than mere subsistence.
This is Snow White, not Les Mis. The focus isn't on some so-called underclass. I
Look on her face. Can you just shut up, you little brat?
I know. It's awful when I'm watching this and I don't empathize with Snow White. I empathize with the evil queen, just like, will you just shut up? So going to be on team evil queen with this one because she's so irritating. So I love the look on Gal Gadot's face because we're all thinking it.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
My apologies. It's just, I feel they need some kindness.
Really?
Fearless, fair, brave, true. How quaint.
That writing alone sounds like something you'd find by a low budget studio. Yeah. I did. None of this reminds me of the original Grimm's fairy tale, or even more importantly, reminds me of the 1937 animated film. And Aldo says from the Disney Wiki, yeah, her mother died shortly after she was born. I knew that. After some time, her father, the king, remarried a vain queen. Snow White's beloved father suspiciously died. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for looking that up because I was like, I didn't think the father was alive. So that's interesting. Thank you, Aldo, for looking that up. Says I've spent many childhood days studying Disney lore. I'm embarrassed. I couldn't remember if the dad was alive or not.
Well, yeah, and I haven't seen the cartoon in years. And then I lost my DVD case that I'm still kind of salty about with my collection. They were all diamond edition collections. I had the Blu-rays and the DVDs and all this extra added features. All gone. Yeah. And I had some really good ones, like the old classics. And I was just about complete. Yeah. Fun.
Oh man, that's heartbreaking. I tell you. Yes, Kiss My Grits. Let's not forget they also changed the origin of Snow White's name, which is no longer because her skin is white as snow. It's because she was born during a snowstorm.
So stupid.
Y'all dumb. Y'all are so dumb. Why would you do that? I think we know why.
This isn't a dig at the young actress, the child that plays the child version of Snow White, but I wish they had put a little bit more of a lip color on her to make her lips and just to make her face kind of stand out a little bit, as a princess. Even if they went with a more pink.
Mm-hmm.
but they really they didn't do much. I don't know.
And
I
this
know it's
color,
mine, but
no, and this color palette is horrible. It's so just like drab, and I just, ugh, I don't like it. It's not like Disney has a habit of killing off parents. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Yeah, I hate the color palette. It doesn't look alive. It looks dead.
It's
It's
very
dark.
brown and black.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's just, although I will say the Evil Queen's outfit is on point. I will
Mhm.
say that.
And she's got the best costuming. Uh, They
Hmm.
nailed it with her.
They did. They did. Too bad they couldn't nail the story. But to add more onto it from that Park Place, written by Martin Montanaro, Disney put Snow White tickets on sale just 10 days before release, and it's not looking good. Disney Springs AMC dedicates minimal screens to Zegler release. That's bad. I did look at Disney Springs to possibly look at it there, and hardly anyone has bought tickets. Near where I live, I checked out the first showing on Thursday. No one has bought tickets.
Wow.
And in contrast, okay, when Mufasa premiered, you couldn't get a ticket at Disney Springs for it.
Oh, wow. Jeez. And did that movie fare out okay? I can't remember. Or was it a flop?
It actually made money.
It fared out
It
okay.
actually they managed to pull it out. I haven't seen it. It's coming to Disney Plus I think the 26th of this month, so I'm probably going to watch
Mm.
it then. So from what I'd heard, it wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest, but it got enough butts in seats. So I said,
Mm.
I'll have to go and check it out when I don't have to pay a theater price for it. Tom F said there were more screens for Cap America at Universal than Disney Springs had for
Oh,
it.
wow. That's crazy.
Wow. That is insane. Can we talk about that Party City dress for Snow White? Oh, Lord, it's
Oh my
disgusting.
gosh.
The collar isn't.
Did you see the Barbie doll they came out with?
Mhm.
I'm like, "No,
I
no."
It's definitely not a shut up and take my money moment. That's for
Mm-mm.
sure. That's for sure. Yep, Tina BB says Snow White will wipe out all the Mufasa, Deadpool, Wolverine, and Inside Out mate. Yeah, we've been talking about this. That, by the time Captain America Brave New World comes out, then you got Snow White on the tail end of that. Yeah, it's gonna wipe all that out. And it's a darn shame. Forced error. Going Shoki says that brother song in Mufasa might be worse than Scuttlebutt. Are you for real?
Oh, how can anything be worse than Scuttlebutt?
Cause
Ugh.
Scuttlebutt, dang, that was
Doesn't make me wanna
that
see it.
that's that song was so bad. Camera
I
girl,
fast
who is a
forwarded.
theater lover, she hated that freaking song.
That's not on Disney Plus. I fast forward through it because it was just so embarrassing to watch. I'm like, "Oh gosh," like, when you feel embarrassed for
Mhm.
Disney for some yeah, I was like, "No, I can't even watch that part." So I
Oh,
skipped it.
so bad. Blind conservative woman says some people are actually saying that Rachel Zegler has a better voice than the original Snow White actress. What do you ladies think? Well, I can tell you what I think with this.
Well, you know what I think about that, Cal? Hold on.
That's what I think.
I think she's got a good voice for Broadway, but to essentially mimic Snow White, it's a
Mhm.
complete miss because Snow White in the original 1937 film, she had a completely different octave and like she was like a high soprano. Rachel
Mhm.
Zegler does not sing high notes like that. And Snow White had a very light and airy, graceful voice that
Mhm.
also went along with her body language, the way she would walk in her dress, if you really study the animated movie. And then Rachel just brings this just a totally different Snow White. It's this alternate reality Snow White. I think of Back to the Future when they're trying to figure out when they went back to 1985 and everything's all changed.
Mhm.
And they're in this like alternate 1985 reality. That's kind of how I feel this Snow White is. Ziegler just she comes off as this warrior princess for Snow White, and
Yes.
Snow White is not a warrior princess.
Mm-mm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a traditional princess looking for true love, and she finds it, and then she's in a shitty situation, and she wants her knight in shining armor. Like, what is wrong with that? I don't understand what the big deal is that
Mm.
it seems like movies aren't allowed to be written like that anymore.
No, it's as
You
if,
know?
and I've said this on several streams, it's as if femininity is something to be reviled.
Yeah.
They do
Mhm.
not want
And
women looking feminine.
heterosexuality.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
And they have killed their own princess brand because they did that.
Yep.
And I did a video I think like last year, where I said that without toxic males, the Disney princess brand fails.
Mhm.
Because little girls are little girls and they're dreaming about, being saved. The prince comes to save you and everybody lives happily, happily ever after. That is something that girls wanted to be, for the most part of. That's how Disney was making a crap ton of money with their princess franchise, between the toys, between the dresses, between the costumes, all of that. And when you,
And I feel like Disney has just really overstepped because, when I was growing up, yeah, we had the traditional princess storylines and the damsel in distress,
Mhm.
typical stories, and not just Disney, but just in general. You had it in TV shows, you had it in movies, you had it in all cartoons. But at the same time, I was still raised at home with you know, go to college, get a career, don't depend on a man. I had that typical Hispanic upbringing of you need to pull your weight and contribute to society. And what are you going to do if your husband passes away? You want to make sure you
Mhm.
provide for yourself. And, what if you get divorced? Like all these like scenarios. So, but Disney apparently just seems to think that, they feel the need to step in and, um, you know, preach to your kids you know, these concepts, and it's like it's not your place to do that. Like, they're so worried about girls being, raised in traditional values, and they just wanna come in and try to, warp their minds with, "No, you wanna be the girl boss." It's like, "Wait a second. There are plenty of families out there, parents, that are already raising their girls that way, and there's nothing wrong with having a healthy dose of romanticism and some dreaming and romance in your life." You know?
Yeah, I did. It really is a shame that they do this, to say pretty much, little girls, there's something wrong with you if you don't want to be a girl boss. And, basically to
Yeah,
boys, it's all your fault that women can't do, X, Y, and
yeah.
Z. And you wonder why your
Mhm.
movies are failing.
Yeah, exactly. Mhm.
I tell
I
you.
mean, we're women, we're girls. Why can't we have it both ways? You can't be the career mom, but also fall in love and have a family. Why can't you have a boy? There are hundreds of thousands of women that have successful marriages and families, and they're career moms. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're nurses,
Exactly.
and then they're married, happily married, and have kids, and it's just like, golly, like, Disney, just stay out of the family like that and just entertain.
Yeah. Just do that. That's all you have to do. But they keep getting in their own way. So last thing that I'll add to this before we move on to Black Snake. From Variety, Disney scales back Snow White Hollywood premiere amid Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot controversies. So in a nutshell, they aren't going to have the red carpet type of premiere in Hollywood where all the press is around. No, it's basically Disney approved press. So they are clamping down on that extremely hard. Okay.
They're putting a muzzle on her is what they're doing.
Oh yeah. Muzzle on her. I think the only other like normal kind of premiere, I say normal kind of premiere they're going to do is in Japan. I don't know why. I don't think they're going to be too happy with
It was said
Neil
earlier
Brown.
because she doesn't speak Japanese. I think I heard that on Pro. I think it was on the Pro show. It's because
That's
she
a
can't
good.
speak Japanese, so I guess they're okay with her just yapping her.
It's not politely okay, yeah. You know what? That's a very 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 good point. Very good point. Do I mean the shill prompt? Yes, the shill. Yeah, the shill prompt. But what I see right here is there's no controversy with Gal Gadot. Well, yeah, according to Variety, because Gal Gadot actually had the audacity to speak at an ADL dinner and support the fact that she is Jewish and she's supporting her people. There was no controversy with that. But why Variety had to pull it up? Well, gotta shield Rachel, right? So annoying. Aldo's Journal says literally every mom of my pals in Chile are moms and part of businesses. Apparently,
Mhm.
according to Disney, you can only have one or the other now. I
Oh,
don't
no,
get
they're
it.
just outright saying they're outright just saying women just don't need men, and to hell with men,
Hmm.
period.
And
You know, like,
that's what it is.
and that's really shitty because it's like people that are putting this together, surely you have maybe a brother. Everyone has a father,
Hmm.
maybe. I know some people, have deadbeats for dads, but still, like you've got people in your circle who are also men or boys, and it's like you just want to throw every male under the bus. It's just so stupid.
It's
There's no
stupid.
sense treating mankind and all humans, with some
Hmm.
sense of dignity.
Hmm.
It's just this constant pitting women against men, and it's disgusting.
And people get tired of that. That's another reason why if you ever watch K dramas, you don't see this nonsense. If you ever
Oh,
watch
no,
Indian
because
films, you don't you
they
don't you
don't
don't
do that in those countries. That doesn't
no,
exist culturally,
they do
and they're
not.
proud of
Yeah,
being traditional. They tout it,
exactly.
and if you don't like it, they'll tell you, "Oh, well, you can leave."
Hmm. Exactly. Unless you see Dog Man, lovely movie. Yes, that was a fun movie. That was a fun movie. And like Universal Illumination, Despicable Me. Hey, the whole family,
Mhm.
stepmom, dad, adopted girls, all of that. They showed, a family and they showed, heterosexual relationships. And it wasn't that Lucy didn't need a man. She wanted to be with Gru. That was different. So Bitter feminist. Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me started on those darn those darn feminists. Yes, I watch K dramas for the escapism for that reason. Oh my gosh, on Netflix, I'm gonna move on in a minute. On Netflix, there is this K drama called When Life Gives You Tangerines. It is the sweetest story. Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so
Is it
good.
dubbed or is it like subtitled?
It's dubbed. So you can
Okay.
watch it. You can watch it with, Korean with the English subtitles, or you can listen to the English dub. Where basically it's like this boy and this girl. They grow up together in this little small town. Her mom dies. He keeps bringing her food, fish, and all that. Her mother dies, and I guess at the memorial, she was crying, and he was just like, crying makes you hungry, so I brought you food. And it's like this
Oh.
love story between the two of them. It is so freaking good. I'm like, I remember when Hollywood was like that. And that's why you have the likes of Netflix and other people buying up these K dramas, because people are watching those, because that's what Hollywood used to be. And Sig Thomas says entertainment is general about escapism. Yes, why putting in modern politics is just terrible, and why Asian media is destroying Western/American stuff. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's one of the good things about streaming, is streaming brings like all this international content that people didn't know before. So we're starting to, to get in, not only get into it, but demand more of it. Something else I tell you. But yes, check out that K drama. You will not be disappointed.
know.
It is so good. Like, instead of when life gives you lemons, it's a when life gives you tangerines. It's very cool. The topic, the title is what grabbed me. But watching the first episode, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. Speaking of things that are so good, over 127 of you all watching between YouTube and X. So please do hit that like button over on YouTube and heart the stream over on X. We surely do appreciate it very, very much. All right. Elephant in the room. So
In the room.
obviously, as you can tell, Hogwarts, Slytherin house. I tell people there's Slytherin, and then there's, everybody else. I've read most of the books. I say read because I have some of them that I bought the physical book, and others where I bought the book on Audible for some long, long trips, which, oh my gosh, the audiobooks are amazing. Been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, I don't know how many darn times. Now, this HBO series that they're coming out with, supposedly they want to do it over 10 years to delve more into the books, which makes sense because if you watch the films, right around Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, that's where you can kind of see that they were rushing to get through things. And if you read the books, you know that there is so much more lore and things that are discussed and brought up that obviously, a film couldn't do it all, but a miniseries could do it. So that's what had me excited about it in the beginning. What about you, Erica? Have you watched the Harry Potter films or read the books?
Oh yeah. I read the first book, and that's as far as I could get because for me it was a hard read. Like the British English, like the writing was just different. So I stumbled a lot and it took me 3 months to get through the first book, but I watched all the films and I've heard from a lot of friends and family that have read all the books. Some of them were downright fed up with some of the later movies because because of so much that didn't make it from the books into the movies. But yeah, when I heard they were coming out the series and the whole reason behind it was to dive deeper into the books to bring it to at least on a small screen, that's what had me excited too because I haven't really read the other, and I don't know if I actually could get through the other books. I mean, they are just they get bigger and bigger. It's like by the time you get to the 7th book, it's just this dictionary of
Yeah.
words. That's too much for me. That's overwhelming. Uh, but to watch it on screen, and if they're gonna make an honest attempt at getting into the nitty-gritty details in the series, yeah, I'm all in just to see all the things that I missed out on because I didn't read the books and it didn't make it into the movies.
Mm-hmm. And J.K. Rowling's
I
writing is so good. I know those books near the end, they were so thick. That's why I got Audible. Instead, I can like listen to it while I'm doing stuff or doing chores or whatever. And the descriptions, you get wrapped up in it, especially Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I think it was 17 hours, I think, but
Oh,
it was just
golly, 17.
amazing. You listen to that and then you watch the movie Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and you're like, "Oh, this is missing. This is missing. They didn't spend enough time on this. They didn't spend enough time, on this." So I'm like, a series like this, yeah, this would be great to give them time to, explore those parts of the books that they didn't have a chance to do with the films, and understandably so. But I hear about this casting,
Mhm.
which immediately ticks me off because, first of all, number one, Alan Rickman is no longer with us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he did such a good job as Snape. When I first saw him and found out he was in House Slytherin, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's me. I'm going to be Slytherin, like from now on. But not only that, but Snape has a particular look,
Mhm.
and it's talked about and explained in the books
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Mhm.
And not only that, but you have the films that are already out there, the canon that's already out there. We know what Snape is supposed to look like. Just like
And there
wiry.
were illustrations put out by J.K. Rowling,
Mhm.
and crazy enough, her sketches looked just like Alan Rickman. I mean, it's almost so it was done intentionally.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly, exactly it, to like further show what Snape looked like, because he's such a large character in the books, large and meaning, the plots and everything. So, and almost I want to say one of the most you love to hate him for a while there, just because of how good he is, and a good mark of a good villain, especially in acting, is when you truly do loathe their character because they bring that, particular villain to life. So when I heard that they race swapped Snape, I'm trying to figure out where exactly I'm going to start. I'm going to start with this. First of all, Papa Esidu, I think that's a Nigerian last name. I did see him in Gangs of London. He was excellent in Gangs of London. What I don't see is why, of all characters, to race swap. I heard they race swapped Hermione and Fantastic Beasts. I haven't seen that, so I don't know. But you decide to race swap Snape.
Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
haven't I
I
haven't
watched all
watched
those
it.
movies. Did they
I
come
have
out with another one, I bet?
I think they did. I think there were there two
There's only
movies?
3, right? Aren't there 3 fantastic or
I don't know. I just knew
I
that.
do not remember that. I know in the stage play of was it Harry Potter and the,
Is that the
Cursed
Cursed Child?
Child? I know they race swapped, Hermione. But I mean, it's a stage play, so I guess you can get away with more on I don't know.
I don't know, but I didn't see it. I didn't watch Fantastic Beasts, so because it just didn't interest me. I'm like, I'm not interested in that.
You didn't
Though
miss anything.
I'm probably gonna watch it before Epic Universe opens up, so I can get kind of a little bit
It
of a
it'll be hard to
baseline.
follow. The storyline is hard to understand and follow. I just got lost in all of it. And then the last one they came out with was just trash. I just hated what they did. It just yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I hear you. Well, it'll be interesting when I watch that one. Peachan fan says not Snape, never Snape. Rickman was iconic as Snape. Yes, yes, he was. Yes, he was. He absolutely was. So, they race swapped Hermione in the Broadway play.
Yeah.
It used to be that if a character was race swapped, it was race swapped because the actor was so well known. Like you had Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. It's like, okay, you had, Perry White, Lawrence Fishburne. It's like, okay. It's like, all right, we'll rock with it because of who the actor is.
Mhm.
But that was back in a time where race swaps weren't just done like it was the flavor of the month. It was very rare that happened. Fast forward to now, and it seems like the only reason that they do this is either, well, we know why they do it, to kind of say, hey, we did this, huge diversity thing. Aren't we great? Aren't we amazing? It should be fine. And guess what? Black people will love it. No, not all of us are gonna love this because it's why is that even necessary to do that? Normies know what Snape looks like. We know what he looks like. So you are going to race swap him just to say that you did something. And I don't know if J.K. Rowling signed off on this or not. If she did, it's kind of the situation with House of the Dragon. George R.R. Martin said that Corlys Valerian, they cast a black actor who actually he was really good. So eventually folks like, oh, I guess he can act. So that kind of went away. But George R.R. Martin said he was fine with that. So it's kind of like, okay, this is your creation. However, you have this canon out here. We're talking specifically about J.K. Rowling, and now you want to change it. And I think that everyone is supposed to be okay with this.
I mean, I don't know this man. I've never seen him act. But Snape, with the way the way he portrayed Snape was so specific. There were so many details in his acting that brought Snape to life. Like just his snideness, the way he was just very, and I don't want to say smug. Smug isn't even the word, but just very sinister like and then very snide like and he was just so good at it and to play a part where the character fools you, and I fell for it. I really thought he was a villain for the longest while and only to find out he was going undercover and he was actually part of like the oh gosh, the Phoenix
Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix, sorry. Yeah, like I
Mhm.
said, Phoenix Society, sorry. Um, and then you realize by the end of the movies what an integral part of the story he was. Out of all of the characters, he's the one that really risked it all. Playing both sides like that, all to bring down the villain, or in multiple
Mhm.
villains at that. And to shut down a movement brought on by this, super villain. And I don't know, he just can this guy even bring to the table the way Snape talks? I mean, Alan had a very specific his voice was very unique. It's hard to replicate that. And then another thing that was pointed out on George the Giant Slayer, because I was watching him on Sunday, and they went deep into this topic. I mean, deeper than I care to even like bring back up because it's all convoluted. But someone did bring up the point of, will this change the dialogue at some point in the story? Because what we know from the original movies was that Lily, Harry Potter's mom, Snape was in love with her. She was never really interested in him, and she fell for Potter, for James. So now, how are they going, if they're going for this whole race thing and this whole DEI thing? I mean, how are they gonna, in a sense, if they're so afraid of the race stuff, then how are you gonna reconcile her white character essentially not wanting to date a black boy? And how does that change? Would that change the dialogue and the conversation between the characters? And I had honestly never even thought of that. That didn't even cross my mind, until it was brought up on George's stream, and they were kind of going down all these analyzing like crazy, and analyzing in ways I couldn't even like dream of analyzing. But that kind of stood out to me out of everything they talked about, and I was like, I never really thought about it like that. They're so worried about all this equality, and is it really that terrible that the characters are vastly, staying true to how they were written? Is it so terrible that like the vast majority of them are white? Or if you want to race swap, then race swap some of the other characters that aren't such a huge integral part of the story, I don't know. I really hope this guy, because he's going to have to really deliver to convince the audience, and that's a hard. I'm sorry, but he's got some massive shoes to fill, and I mean massive.
Yeah, because I've heard he's a good actor. I've seen a little bit of Gangs of London, but it doesn't mean that he can successfully pull off the part of Snape. This isn't
Can he
like
speak in a
some
British accent? Is he a British actor? I don't know
yes.
this guy.
Well, he's a British actor of Nigerian descent. Okay. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on there. But to go back a little bit to what you were saying, especially with George's stream, because I was thinking of that exact same thing. Snape got bullied repeatedly by James Potter. Oh my gosh, Professor Lupin, and of course Sirius Black.
Yep.
And there's even one time where they had him like suspended, like up in the air.
Yeah, I have. Yep. When they were doing the memories and all that.
And yeah, they would do that's. He got harassed so much, and it's something else I thought about. Since Snape is the Half-Blood Prince, how is that gonna play out if they race swap Snape? It's just like saying I'm the Half-Blood Prince.
Wow.
It brings in a racial dimension that I don't think that these people thought about when you say that.
See, and then it makes me question, if is JK, how is she reconciling with this and okay with it? I mean, these are her stories. I mean, if you're pointing this out of the story And she's the one who wrote the story. You would think naturally she'd be like, no, it's not going to work, and bring up the same points you're bringing up. And basically telling the studio, I have the last say in this. These are my characters. These are my stories. And you're not going to screw it up.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless she's going along with this, because I know she's not all conservative. I know she's conservative on some things, but not everything. And I don't know, maybe she's kind of maybe in some way she's fallen for the DEI, but you know what? Even she's not exempt from ruining her own
Yeah,
characters to
she
the
is.
audience. Just because she wrote it doesn't mean anything. Like, we expect a sense of integrity, from the books to the movies. You would think of all people she would know that. And maybe
Mhm.
I'm getting ahead here. Maybe this isn't official
I
and she hasn't signed off on it. I don't know.
well, they did do it with her approval. Like, she was involved in the process with, especially with the casting as well. So it has her approval. I don't know if this is something she signed off on, or more importantly, I don't know if this is something that she even had control to do. So that's a very interesting question. Probably something that'll fall out um, a little later on. The only thing we heard before is that J.K. Rowling was on board with this series. So we're like, okay, that's cool. We can get to see all this stuff that we didn't see in the books. You're going to go through all the books, like 10 years. So plan for 10 years. This will be a great thing to see. But then now you start making all these changes. Oh, and remember when the casting went out? They were purposely going over diverse and inclusive casting. And this dude in a dress, put it this way, wanted to audition for the part of Hermione, and they didn't.
Oh my gosh. Well, you really want to piss off the audience. And I know J.K. Rowling wouldn't be down for that. She's got quite the strong stance on the trans
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah. And she did. Yeah. She said Dumbledore was gay. I was like, I didn't really need to know that, but okay, it's your character, fine. So yeah, she is kind of known for doing that. But
Yeah.
this, it's such it's such a, not only being needless, but it's empty virtue signaling. No disrespect to Mr. Esidu at all, but it just seems they're doing it just to do it. Like, for some reason, the original look of the cast of the Harry Potter movies was a problem. I didn't see it as a problem. I knew a whole lot of other Black Potterheads. We didn't see that as a problem at all. So why is it that these people see it, as a problem? And if you're going to do all this race swapping, then you're going to have to race swap Dean from black to white. You're going to have to race swap, I think, what's her name, was Angela. She was the head of, the captain of the Gryffindor Quidditch team. You're going to have to race swap her to white. And for Hollywood right now, since they only see legitimacy in white characters, they're not going to do a reverse race swap at all. But again, we'll see how it goes down. But frankly, I'm really getting sick and tired of television shows and movies just deciding to race swap people to make it seem like they did something, or race swap it, like in case of not really the Acolyte, but for some reason I can't remember exactly who. A lot of them will put these Black characters up there to mask the fact that the writing freaking sucks. So it's really diabolical. Totally diabolical. But I got this courtesy of Mark with the C, Gospel Corner Mark with the C, one of the gentlemen on the Dark Council. And he found this video. So I'm going to play this in its entirety. One, I think it's important coming from what he's saying. And I 100% agree. So here we go. Fair use, YouTube.
Severus Snape might be a black guy in the upcoming Harry Potter show. Is it because Snape cast a race transition spell?
Wingardium Blackiosa.
Or because he drank a polyjuice potion? Well, we don't know the reason, but it likely has something to do with HBO's goal of being committed to inclusive, diverse casting. Defenders of this casting choice are celebrating it as a step toward inclusivity. They also note that Snape's race is never specified in the books. Critics counter that Snape is described as a pale, pallid, and sallow-skinned person, none of which are terms that you'd use to describe the actor who's being cast for this role, Papa Isiadu. As for me, I grew up with Harry Potter. I remember waiting until midnight for the next book to drop. And it's also cool, as a black person, to see Papa having success. We even have similar last names. And I get that racially diverse casting can offer new perspectives, but this is forced. Harry Potter is a part of history. Many millennials' fondest childhood memories are with these characters. As a little kid in the Bronx, at no point did I ever think there needs to be more black people in these books. Fans weren't complaining about Harry Potter's diversity back then. We were just happy to experience the wizarding world as it was. Making Snape black might help HBO's diversity push, but it's coming at the cost of being true to the source material. And overlooking that by saying Snape's race was never specified when he was described in terms that you would never use for a black person is evasion, not explanation. Now, if HBO wants more racial diversity, they can do it with characters who don't have such a defined physical appearance. But my bigger frustration is this. I'm tired of seeing shows and video games lecture me about how the world ought to be. I don't need a black Snape any more than I need a black Legolas or a white Mace Windu. And when you change one part of history, you affect other parts of it. For example, now James Potter bullying Snape as a youth has a racial dynamic that wasn't in the books. Is that now racist? Well, it needs to be reconciled. And if you think race isn't central to Snape's role, I agree. But we can't be expected to not see color on one hand while HBO emphasizes color on the other. HBO promised us when they announced this show that it would be a faithful adaptation to the books. This is causing us to lose faith. And even if J.K. Rowling supports this because her ideas have changed, the history she made hasn't. So please, to HBO and all of Hollywood, let us cherish our childhoods. Let us enjoy a fantasy world that is separate from the modern world. And stop using old art to serve new agendas.
Oh my gosh, I was worded perfectly at the end. He nailed it. And then he nailed it when we were just like you had just brought up, with now you're gonna have this, Snape as a black kid and James and all the other kids and then the friend group, we're all white and they're bullying a black kid. Like, are they not thinking? Are they, in the name of trying to not be racist, you've really made it worse. Like, are they not looking? Unless they are just not going to go down that road and go back to, going back into that history. But the fact is that it was already exposed in the books in the previous movies, and it's just there in our heads. We know what happened. We know that well, eventually it will be exposed because it goes into the latter part of the books. So yeah, when Snape starts having the memories, that Harry gets to look into, and Harry finally gets a full picture of what went down during his parents' generation. Yeah, you essentially are showcasing a little black kid getting beat up by white kids. And I've just golly,
I do not think they have thought that far ahead at all. And it's like the same, I'm going to make this analogy because it is. Harry Potter, in a way, is like Star Wars with the mass appeal that it has with its fan base, all of that. When Disney got their hands on it, They bastardized the lore, said, we're going to change this, we're going to do this, we're going to do
Mhm.
this, we're going to do this, and just went to hell on a rocket. I am very, very worried about this because
Yeah.
the movies, the books, the movies, the merchandise, Wizarding World of
The
Harry
parks.
Potter, the parks, yes,
Like
all of that. You do put something out with Harry Potter on it, it prints its own money because it is such a beloved property.
but then they're gonna put this show out that should be enhancing that in the parks even more,
Mhm.
and if you're just gonna be irresponsible with the writing and the casting, then I I mean, I don't wanna say it would be to the level of people will, boycott Epic Universe and going into the Wizarding World, but, I mean, it's gonna cause a huge ruckus, and it could very well procure people from saying, "Screw Universal, screw," we'll visit other parts, but we're done with Harry Potter. I mean, look at what happened, like, to Marvel and Star Wars. It could go in that direction and very quickly.
Mhm.
And I don't know how forgiving, Harry Potter fans are compared to this. I would think less than Star Wars and Marvel, but I don't know. I mean,
Well,
I'm a
that's
fan, but I'm not like a super fan,
yeah, it's like I know some
You're not gonna
people
see me in
just
costume.
they're really, I mean, I do want a Slytherin robe because I love Slytherin, Slytherin gear, but I don't know. I've heard rumblings people aren't that happy. Well, some fans are not that happy that John Lithgow is going to be in the series playing Dumbledore, I believe. And he's
What
American.
does he look like?
Mhm.
I'm not really familiar with these actors.
Oh my gosh, he was on Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, is the
He's
old guy?
also on Saturday Night Live, John Lithgow.
The old dude with the white hair?
Mhm. So he's gonna be
Okay.
Dumbledore.
Well,
He's gonna be
he's an
Dumbledore.
old dude now.
Yeah, he's old, and I don't know how well, he did a good job as Churchill on The Crown.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah, I mean, I can see why people are like, "It should be a British actor." Okay, yeah, I kinda agree with that, but John Lithgow has pretty much shown he can master, the accent. If you have not watched The
Yeah.
Crown, you need to. It is so
Yep.
flipping good, and Lithgow killed it as
That
Churchill.
he did, and I think with the costuming and makeup and I could see it easily, I don't have any problem with that. It's the racing here that's, was such a prominent character
Mhm,
that essentially pretty much is responsible for
mhm.
saving the Wizarding World, you know?
Right, right. Going Shogi says, "I don't like the Lithgow choice. Capaldi would be better." I agree with you. When I
Mm,
first heard this show was announced, I said, "If they keep, all the actors British and, the characters, white British kids and people as it is in the movie, I'd be perfectly happy with that." So it's like Lithgow, I can see it, but it's almost
they
like
better
when
casting.
Disney was going to do the Harry Potter movies and they wanted Harry Potter to be played by Haley Joel Osment. I'm like, how are you gonna have a story about a little British kid and you're gonna cast an American kid for that? That does not make sense at all. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Harry Potter and the Magical Soul Plane. Soul Plane was a funny movie. But yeah, I agree with that. And Dylan says, "Heck, if I knew they were casting non-British people, I would have auditioned." They
Oh,
they I think they got like 30,000
oh
audition
gosh.
tapes or videos or something like that. I mean, this was like the thing.
Dang.
Because if you get a job in this series, you're pretty much set for life. But it goes back to the authenticity, and this is kind of where I'm at with this. You can't show me and build this lore around what a particular character looks like in the books, what a particular character looks like on screen after 7 movies. It's not like it's one movie and, they swapped them for somebody else for the rest of the movies.
Right.
When you have that much lore set up and you decide to just do a race swap just to do it, because let's face it, you did it just to do it, and I think they're trying to use this as a star vehicle for Mr. Esidu, which I get it, but this is not the property to do it with. I mean, I'm not mad at him for taking the paycheck. I'm pissed at the people who cast him.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. They could have swapped any of the other teachers. There was even one of the other teachers that was black. I'm forgetting his name, but he said, say what you want about Dumbledore, the man has style. I do remember him saying that. Like, why did they use that character? Oh, she's down with it, Dan's Life at the Kingdom. She has creative input. So I don't know if that means, okay, politely, we'll just have you here while you talk and we'll go on and do what we want. I don't know.
I would love to see J.K. Rowling come out with books and a series on how Hogwarts was founded and getting into the history of the 4 wizards that founded Hogwarts and bringing that to life. And also the full detailed story of James and Lily and their group when they were children and going through the timeline up to when Harry was, when his parents were killed. I think it'd make for a great prequels, and you could really stretch the franchise. But, do it right. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree
granted,
with that.
she'd have to write from scratch, but, I mean, there's just so much potential if she wanted to write more in the franchise, that's the direction I would go in. The founding of the Hogwarts with the 4 wizards and then all of the details of what went on with the previous generation. I think they tried to do that with Fantastic Beasts, but it was just
I would just love
it just did not land.
No.
Did not land at all.
But what you're talking about is a very good idea because every time I go into Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, and right before you board, all the pictures are up there, the living pictures of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. And you hear the arguing and the debate that they're having. And of course, Salazar Slytherin is like basically, no, we need to have standards. We only want the best of the best. They need to come from the right upbringing. And just hearing all of them debate who they should take and who they should not take. I'm like, that is a cool story. How did they all get together in the first place? How did they wind up making the school? And what was the kerfuffle that happened that caused Salazar Slytherin to basically pop smoke and say, I'm done with you people? That would have been so cool to see.
That would have been better than what they did with Fantastic Beasts. I mean, it was just so random. You take one of the kids' textbooks and turn that into a movie. I found that to be so random. And the thing is that in the movies, and I know in the books they go more. Do they go more into, I guess, that particular textbook with the kids? I don't know if they go into it in the books. In the movie, it wasn't. In the movies, it wasn't really mentioned at all. And I guess they tried to prequelize it, and it just, I couldn't connect the dots at all with like the historical and what connections it had with the movies. It was just like not connecting for me.
Yeah, I did. I was just like, after watching the Deathly Hallows Part 2, I'm like, that's fine. It's wrapped up in a bow. I'm good with it. I'm like, why do I need to see Fantastic Beasts? I'm like, not really. Yes, BR guys, I did hear that.
I did not hear that. That's new for me. What will be
Yes.
interactive? Oh, so to
Fully.
be like the Turtle Crush type technology,
Yeah,
or
probably
maybe more AI.
probably like amped up, like the picture that guards the Gryffindor common room, the fat lady with
Mhm.
the opera singer.
Yeah.
Like you would be able to actually talk with her, and she would like interact with you.
Oh, man.
Like, what's the password? You know, if you don't if you don't know it, that you can't get in. That would be funny.
If you do know it, does the door open? Do you go into another room?
That's a good
Is there a
point.
room of treasures?
That's a good point. If they find out your house Slytherin, they're going to give you crap like else does in the park. If you're Slytherin, that is true. Yes, even though when you go through security, because who was it? Yeah, I remember with the Halloween Horror Nights. I think with Drunk 3PO like years ago, and went through security, and they tell him she's Slytherin. You got to keep an eye on her. I'm like, what is it with the Slytherin discrimination? Or if there are Slytherin at security, they're like 50 points for Slytherin. We all like know each other. So that's funny. I would like to see that, but the interactive portraits, I cannot wait to see those, because if you've seen the portraits in the oh my gosh, I am in Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, those portraits are basically kind of talking to each other, but how they look, it's just fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. Hey, Arlene Navo says, hello, chat. Tardy to the spice party. LOL. I like that. Good seeing
Glad
you,
you
Arlene. Good seeing you. I like that. Don't be tardy to the spice party. Hey, Joshua Harris says, for comedic relief, you should have named the Snape is the new black.
And the new black. Oh, well, yeah,
Ah,
that's a way to put it.
you didn't like my spell, Wingardium Diversiosa?
Oh my god.
That's on the thumbnail, actually. That's on the thumbnail. That's funny.
Could
Snape.
you I just thought about this a few minutes ago. Could you imagine if Universal did their own version of Club 33, but in Harry Potter with each house? Could you imagine that?
Shut up and take my money.
Right.
just take it. Take the
Like, do you take mortgages? I would need to do payments. So
I
could you imagine that? And then have all these like secret areas where you could get into, like, for Slytherin, for Gryffindor,
Mhm.
and it's like, I don't know, hoity-toity, high-end, whatever it is that Club
I know
33
this.
has to bring it over to, Universal for the Harry Potter. Oh my god.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
I think they should
Uh,
consider it. I think it would sell. People would, I
who
think people
knows?
would
Because
do it.
they are expanding. They are actively working on the next thing that's coming up with what's going on in all the parts. So who knows? I want that Harry Potter hotel. Daggone it. And I want to
It
be
should
able to
be
ride the
Hogwarts.
night bus. That's what I want. I wanna ride
I
the
should be
night
able to walk through the halls of Hogwarts, and as I'm finding my hotel room, you know?
That's funny. Oh my gosh. Arlene is killing me. It's Diversiosa, not
Ah,
Diversios.
Leviosa.
Brandon's Magical Adventure says, I think this is off topic, but did you hear Snow White ticket sales are not going well? Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
earlier earlier in the show. Yeah, I don't think people would buy Snow White tickets even if Jesus told them to. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think so. It's bad. I don't think I have seen. Well, no, Captain America: Brave New World was worse. Well, yeah, you could pretty much get take your pick of where it is that that you want to sit. I'll be surprised. I'm going next Thursday, 2 p.m. show. So I have to let you guys know how that
Oh, it
goes.
comes out Thursday out there in the States? Or is it like
Yeah,
an early showing?
it's officially I think the 2020 whatever that Thursday is. I think it's the
Yeah,
20.
it's the 20th. See, here it comes out
Atlanta.
Friday the 21st, and they don't do early showings or anything like that. And then you can only get tickets
Oh,
the day
okay.
of. You can't get advance, and not that it would matter anyways, I don't think. I don't
Okay.
think it's even landing all that well here.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it's
yeah, I
not.
won't be able to watch it till Friday.
I think the sippers and the popcorn buckets are the only thing that's really going to sell with regards to
I was
regards to stuff.
disappointed in the popcorn bucket. It's
Hmm.
it's a mine cart.
A
I
what?
expected something more girly.
Oh, it's a mine
It's
cart.
a
Like
mine cart.
this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's cute for boys, but, like, I expected something, I don't know, more there again, feminine, but I'm stupid for even saying
We
that
couldn't
because
have
they
a
don't want that.
poison. We couldn't have a poison apple popcorn bucket.
Oh, that would've been kinda cool.
We have that. I have a poison apple sipper. It's back there, but I got it like a couple of years ago. It's really cool. Really, really cool. I would like that. He is called Blabe now.
Oh gosh. Let the
uh,
memes begin.
the jokes just write themselves, but you guys brought it. You guys brought it on yourselves. We'll see what happens with it, but again, I don't like this gratuitous race swapping. I don't like the idea that you have people thinking that they're doing black people a favor by doing
Yeah.
this. We didn't ask for this. You decide to do it anyway. I mean, I will be watching the series because I am curious about it
Oh, yeah.
and about
For
its
sure,
episode.
me too.
So I am going to watch it, but don't think we can't see, what you're what you're
Are
doing.
you gonna do watch parties for it? Like you did with House of Dragon?
Probably, yeah, yeah.
They haven't, like, put out there what the, like, the schedule, what it would be? Will it be, like, on what day of the
No,
week? I guess it's too early
they
for any of that, isn't
literally
it?
they're finalizing their casting. So I don't know how far along they have in writing the scripts. I don't think this is supposed to premiere until, was it 2027?
Mm.
Harry Potter series come out. For some reason, I'm thinking 2027. Oh, excuse me, 2026.
Oh, that's fast. Jeez, so yeah, they've gotta wrap up casting and get to
Yeah,
filming.
late 2026 or early 2027.
7. So probably the holiday season of
Yeah,
2026,
there probably will.
so
But
they
yeah.
can promote it.
hmm
Wow.
So when that comes out, yeah, of course, I'll have a watch. You're gonna have to be a channel member in order to see it. But yeah, I'll have a watch party so we can all watch, so you don't have to pay. Yeah, Shinochki, we already talked about this. We already
Yeah.
talked about that. That they did not think that far. I'm like, if you start calling him a half blood, I mean, especially here in America, okay. Mulattoes, which I have a lot of them who are in my family, you know, they were a lot of them were like despised because they weren't completely black, they weren't completely white, they were, you know, they were in that part of society, and it was pretty much a slur to call them, you know, something like that. So
Mhm.
y'all didn't think, really, really, really
Nope.
did not think. And yes, I worry about Mr. Esdu. I mean,
Yep.
he's gonna catch it full in the face. So bring that performance. That's the best advice that I can give you is to bring it with that
I don't know,
performance.
maybe he will bring it, it'll knock everyone's socks off, and we'll be able to be that forgiving as the audience. But it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't erase the fact that eventually down the line in the story, they're gonna have to visit those memories
Mm.
of the bullying,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. So
Um,
I don't think you thought it out very well. And then if you go
mhm.
changing stuff, then you're changing stuff from from the original canon. So again,
Unless
more
they're gonna
problems.
change the story and omit that completely and just change it,
Gosh, shoot.
and that's gonna piss everybody off too. So, like, you're not really delivering to your audience either way. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
But they are really going to have to tread lightly because Potter fans, like I want to say, Potter fans are like Star Wars fans in a way. We'll put it this way: Lucas era Star Wars
Yeah.
fans. The
Mhm.
books are canon. The movies are canon. Most folks are familiar, with the lore. I mean, when you ask somebody what house are you, if you're a Potter fan, you already know how to answer that question. Or if you haven't, if you don't, it's like I haven't been sorted by the hat yet. I mean, and each house has its own distinct personalities and
Mhm.
all of that. Like, the other houses pretty much get along, but Slytherin has a big problem with Gryffindor and vice versa. That sort of lore. So if you go from taking that and trying to twist it around, I don't think Potter fans are going to like that. That first season is going to be very, very telling. So,
Yep. That's gonna set the pace and the tone, and that's gonna determine for the audience if they're even gonna bother watching the 2nd season. It's like with Bridgerton.
oh Lord, don't get
I
me
know.
started.
Ooh, when they come out with that next season, it is gonna flop and flop bad.
Third season was hard. I'm like, what the heck what am I watching?
Yeah.
And then I heard they changed stuff from the
Oh,
books
big
too. That's what somebody
big
told me,
time.
that they switched up like
Like,
stuff that they shouldn't
n
have done. And
yeah, it goes beyond even what history would allow for. It's so out there.
yeah,
I don't know if they're changing course, but the ones that I read the books are like, "No, we're not watching the next season." It's that bad.
they need to go to what the first season of that show was like because that was
Yep. Well, they
fire.
had a different director too that,
Ah, shoot, no wonder.
and yeah, the first season director, like, really kept even though there was race swapping and all that, but the story was very close to the book.
Hmm.
But then they got a different director, it kinda changed course, and I mean, way off course.
Charlie
Yeah.
said, "Oh my God, Bridgerton book fan here. Don't even get me started on the dang series." Yeah, I didn't read the books, but there was a
Mhm.
stark difference between the first season and then the second
And
season.
then
It's like,
yeah.
and the third season, I'm like, what the heck am I
Oh, that was
watching?
and now the 4th one's gonna be, like, really bad, really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah. I'm probably going to nope out of that season 4. I'll just go back and watch the first season. Well, folks, speaking of fun, unfortunately, we are at the end of our time together for the Spice Lounge. So appreciate all of you being here. Erica, what do you have going on? Let the folks know about.
Well, so Raph and I talked a little bit, last night, and he does have off next week, and he was hinting that, maybe we could get out and do some stuff. The weather has been gorgeous here. The spring is it's just been so beautiful, and the weather's been perfect, so we're hoping next week the weather will be really good, and we
Oh,
can
wow.
vlog some of the, spring season that we have a patch of land here, and they've already tilled the soil to start planting the tulips and wildflowers that you can go pick here in our village.
Ooh.
So I'd like to go and film that. And we're getting into that tulip season in, is it the Netherlands?
Yes, I love
I think is
tulips.
where everybody goes. It's a popular, I don't know if we're going to travel that far. I do know he took 2 weeks off closer into his birthday, and he's really hinting we should do something. So,
Mhm.
and his birthday is later in May. So, but we'll let you know if we got another vlog up. But yeah, I would like to get out and vlog some of the um, spring stuff out here because it is a beautiful time of year. It's one of my favorite seasons here.
That would be lovely. I made the mistake of no, I didn't make a mistake. I actually promised my mom. I said, I want, because I'd been over in Europe, like when I was over in Germany, I was like, I want to have all of these tulips. And I bought these tulip bulbs. So I had to plant them in the fall. I'd never wanted to do that like again. But when spring came around, it was gorgeous.
Mhm.
Absolutely gorgeous. People are just like, these flowers are gorgeous. I'm like, yeah, thank you. That's probably what helped my dad sell the house because it was like yeah. I hooked that up. We had all kinds of like tulips that came up. So I love it. Andy W, hello, says I'm a Hufflepuff. Not very exciting. I've taken the sorting test on Pottermore.
Yeah.
Well, Slytherins like Hufflepuffs because y'all bring the snacks.
Is that
Yes.
why? See, I never got. I wish the movies had kind of gone into the other houses because it was just so Slytherin versus Gryffindor, and I'm like, well, what about the other two? I took the test multiple times, and I've gotten Gryffindor more than I can count. And the one time I got Ravenclaw.
I took it 3
So it's
times.
like
Slytherin,
I just
Slytherin.
cannot get Slytherin at all. I've tried changing my answers just to see,
Mhm.
and nope, it's usually more Gryffindor than anything. And the one time I got Ravenclaw.
Well, in the Hogwarts Legacy game, the Hufflepuff common room is near the kitchen, but
Oh, okay.
you can't get in unless you're in that particular house. Like for me, since I'm Slytherin and I'm in Hogwarts Legacy, the Slytherin common room is down in a dungeon and it's like submerged full of water and stuff around it, but the door won't open for you if you're not Slytherin. You just walk down there and all you just see is like the dungeon in the game. But if you're a Slytherin, it's like these two snakes, come apart and it lets you into the common room. It's like all sunken.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
the coolest thing. But yeah, it's like Hufflepuffs, they bring the snacks. Ravenclaws, they got good jewelry. Gryffindor, we need somebody to fight with. Slytherin's got the hottest women. Yes, we do. Tell people that's why I'm blonde, because gotta be blonde being Slytherin. Just kidding. But yeah, mostly so. Well, as for myself, let's see. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be having a gaming stream playing Infinity Nikki. If you ever, as a kid, played with Barbie dolls and were obsessed with getting all the outfits, Infinity Nikki is the game for you. It is an open world RPG, all kinds of stuff to do. I love it. I love it so much. I kicked Dreamlight Valley to the curb like 3 months ago. So I'm going to be playing that tomorrow night. Bring your questions. It's going to be fun. The graphics are
Oh.
amazing. Just the soundtrack, the score is just absolutely fabulous. So we're going to be playing that on Wednesday. On Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, going to be playing Love in Deep Space, same company, much more mature content. So we're going to be playing that as well. Saturday, of course, we've got the Resort Recon live show to talk about. So much more information coming out about Epic Universe. And of course, Disney's still shooting themselves in the foot. 8 p.m. on Saturday, going to be having a watch party for one of my favorite Paul Verhoeven movies, and that will be Starship Troopers. So we will have a watch party for that. Sunday, of course, Welcome to Florida show. After that, I'm not going to be streaming that next week because it's spring break. I'm going to be running around blogging, doing kinds of other stuff. Mm-hmm.
Already spring break season. I keep forgetting we're in spring. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't forget it here because you know how it is. March, Florida, here they come.
Yeah, ready or not.
Yeah, I'm not on that stream tomorrow. I'll pass. You
Well,
don't
I
like
will be curious. I want to see this game now. I
you
loved
don't
playing with Barbie dolls growing up, so
Yeah, Infinity
and playing
Infinity.
dress up and changing outfits. I
It
played
is.
dress up with my older sister. We would do little fashion shows, and we would just create our own concoctions of, like, fashion.
I'm like, this is such a fun game. So there's that, and of course, yeah, Love in Deep Space. That's the Otome dating game. So I have 3 Asian boyfriends, so you'll get to meet them on Friday night. So everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We sure do appreciate it. I want to thank Erica for being on the panel. Ron, I hope you feel better. You guys in the chat, you always make these shows. Like I say, the chat is like our co-host to the show. You guys are awesome, and I love you guys being here. Hey, Keely Chow, good morning from Hong Kong. I am so darn
Oh,
jealous, my
wow.
dear.
Hong Kong.
I am
Are you at
so.
Disney?
Oh, if he's going to
Do
Hong
you
Kong
have
Disneyland, I don't
Disney?
know. You have to let me know if you go. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Make sure you subscribe to Erica. Make sure you subscribe to me. And of course, we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Let's tidy things up.
Autobots, start your engines!
Not under the rug.
We'll keep singing without fail, otherwise we'd spoil it.
Ready, Prime. Let's roll.
Hosing down the garbage pail and scrubbing up the toilet. Ooh.
That's all, folks.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.